Hi, my name is Chris Ryan, and in today's video I'm going to show you 3 things that you can do in your golf swing to give you more club head speed and ultimately more distance off the tee. So many of you watching this video are going to be, after a little bit more club head speed, on the understanding that that's probably going to help you, hit the ball a little bit further. And often when we hear golfers talk about club head speed, they're kind of primarily focusing on the driver, and certainly this is the one which we would see more golfers desperate to try and hit a little bit further. Now, we are going to go through 3 things that I think are going to help you achieve more club head speed. That doesn't always give you more distance. We've got to make sure that we're delivering the golf club efficiently to the golf ball. So make sure you're doing that before you try and add some speed. Many of the golfers I see can actually increase the distance they hit the ball just by delivering the golf club a little bit better. However, if you feel like you are delivering the club pretty efficiently, adding speed to the golf swing will or should give you a little bit more distance. So the first thing we're going to look at, which I think can help you achieve more club head speed and ultimately more distance, is making a better or a bigger rotation in the body. Now, when we look at rotation, we really have to look at 2 areas. We have to look at the upper body and we have to look at the lower body. Now, very simply, the majority of golfers that I see, and potentially you watching this video, you're not going to be the most flexible that you could be. Therefore, if you're looking to make a good full turn in your upper body, we really need to make sure we're making a good full turn within your hips and within your knees. So if I was to take my starting position to this golf ball, if I had what I'm going to call a limited rotation in my knees and my hips, that's going to make it incredibly difficult for me to make a good rotation in my upper body. If that happens, one of 2 things will result. Either I'm just going to end up making a shorter swing with poor turn, or the second thing, which is probably more common, is the arms start to get very, very narrow at the top. So we end up with a golf swing which looks relatively full based on where the club is, but it's very, very underturned. Underturned and narrow, unfortunately, is not a great combination for speed. So what we're going to look for is when you take your starting position with the driver, and this is a guide, this is by no means for every single golfer, this is a great guide. I would like, from a down the line view, to be able to see some daylight between those knees. What that's going to indicate to me is that the knees have started to what we call change flex, where my trail leg has started to straighten a little bit, my lead leg has started to increase in flex. That creates that little bit of daylight between my knees. That probably means my hips are rotating a good amount. That in turn probably means I'm going to be turning my shoulders a good amount. Now, a great little exercise that you can do at home to help you achieve this is just take either your golf club or maybe an alignment stick and just place it across your shoulders with the grip end away from the target. So just in here. And what I would like you to do is get yourself set up to, let's say, a mirror, or even a reflection works pretty well, but just something where you can sort of see yourself. The idea being that in that reflection, target side of your head, so that's kind of over this side for me, we want to be able to see the grip of the golf club. So if I make a restricted turn, you're going to see how, if I was looking in the mirror, I can't see that grip to the front side of my head. It's over, obviously, here somewhere. If I can make a good turn where I allow my knees to change flex, my hips rotate, my shoulders rotate, I should start to see the grip of that golf club appearing a little bit more target side of my head, and you can see that there. So what this is doing for me is doing 2 things. One, it's giving me a good understanding of how much I need to rotate, but it's actually just a very good stretch as well. I can really feel how much I have to move my body, how much I have to wind up to get that sort of grip to appear target side of my head. For many of you, this is going to feel like a lot of movement. You're going to feel that there's a lot of movement in the knees, a lot of movement in the hips, and then a lot of movement in the upper body. However, if we can increase that range of motion, get that bigger turn, I think that's going to be stage 1 to helping you achieve more club head speed. The second thing that I want you to focus on, if you're looking to increase the speed that you swing the golf club, especially with the driver, is what we call extension. And for extension, we're looking in this very much about the upper body and where we position it at the top of the golf swing. So if I take my starting position, I want you to have a look from down the line, just how much I'm bent forward with my upper body. So very much how much I'm tilted over the golf ball. And you can see as I take my address position, I'm tilted forward by a pretty good amount there. So we're looking at the angle of my back. Now, the golfers I see who don't swing the club particularly fast often get very narrow at the top. When they swing back and we look from the front view, we often see the upper body maintaining that angle too much. So you can see that whilst it's a very, very different camera angle, my back is kind of, very, very similar to the angle that it was that we looked at from setup. So that down the line view, those back angles were fairly similar. Obviously, not exactly, but fairly similar. What this tells us is this golf hasn't what we call extended. Extended means moving from this forward bend towards this extended position. You'll notice that again, from the down the line view, when I extend my body, my back gets pretty close to vertical. We want that from the face on. We want that back to lose this forward bend and get towards what we call extension. So the best way for you to think about this is where your chest points. So I'm going to imagine that setup that there's an arrow coming out of my chest, so roughly where your buttons are or where your zip's going to be, and that setup, that arrow would point down towards the ground. I need to make sure that when I get to the top of my swing, the arrow does not still point down towards the ground. I need to feel it points horizontal, if not a little bit towards the sky. A little bit towards the sky will be a great feeling to help you generate some more speed. So as I make my rotation back, I'm going to really feel that I get my chest, what I feel is pointing up towards the sky. Notice how my back, if anything, I'm maybe slightly exaggerating this, is slightly arched towards the target. This is what we call extension. Extension is absolutely key if you're looking to get the most club head speed that you can. If you look at the long hitters, these guys who win the world long drive, hit the ball 450 yards, you'll see huge amounts of extension in that upper body. The golfers who are the weakest will keep far too much of that forward bend and often get very, very narrow at the top. So the second thing I want you to focus on is extension. Again, mirrors, reflections are great for you to practice this and get an idea on how you can move your body better from forward bend towards extension. Finally, number 3, the third thing that you can focus on if you're looking to increase the speed at which you swing your drive is how you move your hips to your pelvis in transition. I want you to what we call unweight yourself and lower the pelvis. I will explain what I mean. When I get to the top of my golf swing, hopefully we've ticked off those first 2 points. We've got good turn, we've got a good extension. I want you to think about you rotating your belt back to the start, so where it started, but feeling like it might lower by maybe an inch. So as I do that, I am what we call unweighting myself. I'm taking a lot of my weight away from the ground. So if I was to be standing on, two, let's say, bathroom scales that would weigh or show a certain amount of weight, as I start down, I feel like I momentarily unweight myself as I rotate back. My pelvis will slightly lower, slightly. We're not talking about a foot, we're talking slight. What this will do in the body angles, it will probably slightly increase the angles that you have in your body. What this will allow us to do is it will allow us to push and use our energy from our legs and our body at the right point of the golf swing. Many, many times I see the golfers who have the slow swings, the slow club head speeds, the poor distance. The push, as I call it, or the extension of the body, will happen far too early in the golf swing. So they're starting to push with their legs, they're starting to extend their body, which is not the wrong thing, they're just doing it far, far too early. I want you to feel like from the top, you rotate back, you unweight yourself, you lower the pelvis. Those 3 things are difficult to do, don't get me wrong. I'm not expecting to go straight to the first tee this weekend, do all those 3 things, knock it 50 yards further than what you normally do, walk down there, knock it on the green and make a birdie. It's not that simple, unfortunately. However, these things are going to help you create some more power in your golf swing and ultimately get the speed out into that thing which is going to give you more distance if you can get it all synced up in time. These things have to be practiced. Notice how in this video I've not yet hit a golf ball. This is how I'd want you to start. If you're looking at how you move your body, and notice again in this video we haven't really talked about the golf club, we've talked about the body. Body is where we're going to get the energy out into the golf club. Start without the golf club, start at home, start with reflections and mirrors. Get comfortable moving your body through these positions, that bigger turn, that extension, that unweighting. Get used to making these movements before you even think about introducing the golf club. Once you are introducing the golf club, let's go to the practice area first. Let's use the practice area as a chance to get comfortable with these movements. It may well be 1, 2, 3 months before you can take this to the golf course. However, if you can do those 3 things, you can get comfortable with it, I think you're going to increase your club head speed. Sometimes you can get a good 5 to 10 miles an hour increase. That's a huge difference. That's going to give you a lot more yardage from the tee and make the game a little bit easier. Right, I suppose I'd better hit one. I mean, this is a great opportunity to go through those things, because this is the 12th, it's a par 5, so another kind of 15 yards on a drive would be really, really key here. So let's see if I can put all those 3 things in, add some speed and hit that fairway. Okay, just up the left side, but I think it's going to catch a bit of the fairway. I might even be able to get on the green with my second shot from there. So 3 things that if you can do, you should be able to increase your club head speed. It's more fun, guaranteed. If you can hit that ball further than your playing partners, you get the bragging rights, it's way more fun. So try those 3 things, add some speed, add some distance, and hopefully lower your scores as you do that. Thank you for watching. Usual stuff is down below. There's a comments box, there's a like button. There's also a link to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, it is absolutely free. Just click the link. And hopefully we won't get you to miss any of the videos. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.